What's going on, guys? Dean Solomon here, and today I'm going to be talking about uh, pretty much a shoulder injury that I've been experiencing now for the past 8 months. So I'm going to try to break this down as much as I can because the injury is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be, right? There's so many issues uh, just around my shoulder, and there's a lot of things causing that, basically my shoulder injury. There's just too much going on, like lack of flexibility, uh muscle imbalances, so many things. So I'm going to try to break this video down as best as I can and explain basically just everything I'm doing at the moment to actually fix it. So the first thing I'm doing, well, let's backtrack. When did this problem start? This problem started roughly 8 months ago, and I basically noticed it when I was doing a plate loaded shoulder press. I realized that one of my arms was extending farther up than the other. And I said, okay, something is not right. Something is definitely not right here. Even when I intentionally and consciously knew that it was doing that, one was extending more than the other, and I was trying to put it in place, I physically could not do it. I couldn't do it. So at that point, I realized, okay, I have to do something about this. So I'm pretty much going to share what I've been doing now for the past 4 months, even though my shoulder isn't 100%, but it got much better than what it was before. So the first thing I did was I pinpointed which exercises were causing basically what exercises are making me mimic this movement. And I ended up realizing that things like dumbbell shoulder press, incline dumbbell press, specifically incline dumbbell press, was pretty much making me mimic this movement. So what I did was I took all the weight off. I completely lightened up the exercise. I just tried to focus on, okay, pinning back my shoulders and pressing only with my chest on a dumbbell press, on that specific exercise, the dumbbell press. And I realized even with the lightweight, I was still I just wasn't pressing properly. So then I had to backtrack even more and told myself, okay, this is obviously down to a flexibility issue or something. It was down to a flexibility issue and just down to muscle tightness in my body. There's some areas in my body that are tight. So basically, I realized two things. My traps were extremely tight, my right trap specifically, and my lats were extremely tight. So the first thing I did was I said, okay, I need to warm up my shoulders. Warm up my back, sorry. I need to warm up my lats, pretty much. So I started performing back exercises before I actually do anything that's going to require me to push forward. But the question was, okay, what back exercises are going to allow me to warm up all the muscles in my back and basically have that, what are the back exercises that are going to allow me to pin my shoulders back as I'm doing dumbbell press, or even something as simple as a tricep extension, because you don't want your shoulders, forward or coming forward in a tricep extension. So I realized doing something in a neutral grip in a horizontal fashion with a pad supporting me, that was the best thing to activate my back. Best thing. Uh, I realized with the pronated grip, I was irritating my shoulder more, and I was just making everything much tighter. So, in this fashion, and whether it's horizontal or vertical, didn't even change it. Everything was getting tight, everything didn't feel even. And then it just wasn't working. So I realized what was working was a neutral grip, rowing exercise. So I would do maybe 3 to 4 sets of that, warm up, very slow tempo, 10 to 15 reps. And I wasn't really the goal of those warm up sets was not to build muscle, just to basically get my shoulder in place before I do any kind of pressing exercise. Then I realized I had another issue. I realized that every time I extend my left elbow, you hear a clicking sound. Now, I know a lot of people have that, but my clicking was excessive. I could tell it was hindering me being able to extend my elbow when I'm dumbbell pressing even heavy or even light. It was hindering me just being able to extend my elbow or my arm completely. So it was down. So basically, there was 2 issues. It was my elbow, my left elbow, my right shoulder. So this is where it got complicated because I ended up getting confused. I'm like, okay, where's the issue coming from? Like, what looks normal and what doesn't look normal? I couldn't even tell which arm was fine and which wasn't. It turns out both arms aren't fine. So what I started doing is a lot of stretching stuff. I'll put a few clips up to show you what I do for my shoulders, elbows, things like that. And it's been pretty rough, honestly. Like I can't press as heavy because now what's happening when I try to press heavy is obviously a lot of shoulder discomfort, and I'm not placing the tension in the right areas. So if I'm doing a dumbbell press, I'm not placing the tension evenly throughout my pecs, because one arm is going lower and then one arm's going higher than the other, and obviously you're going to start to get a pec imbalance because the stretch is different. Even when I'm in the shortened position, just being in the shortened position for each pec is different. So the contractions in the shortening positions are just not the same. Therefore, it's going to create a big imbalance. So I really just had to go back to the drawing board and lighten up the weight and think about my form when I'm actually performing these exercises, which significantly helped. I had to kind of just do a couple sets where I'm focusing just with light weight and focusing on my form before I do my working sets with a heavy weight. And that significantly helped because I already had the intention of keeping my shoulders pinned back when I'm doing my working set and keeping the tension completely on my chest. Whereas before, I thought I would subconsciously be doing it, which I was wrong. I didn't think about it that much when I was doing dumbbell press. So I haven't done anything in terms of doing any kind of massaging or cupping or anything. I've tried cupping twice. It helped a little bit, but I realized it wasn't a muscle issue, right? It was, yeah, I mean, I do have, I guess, a bit of tightness in my muscles, but it's more of also a joint issue, which cupping won't fix that. I've done cupping and it doesn't fix that. It's mostly down to just, I guess, my joints really, in how flexible they are to an extent, because they're mobile but they're not flexible, and that's something that needs to get fixed if I want to build a aesthetic physique. So I think it comes down to really repeating these shoulder mobility slash flexibility exercises, really slow tempo. uh, Nothing, you're not trying to go fast here. You're really just trying to focus on that shoulder joint, or even if you're doing something with your elbows. And that's it. I mean, there isn't much more you could do. There isn't much more you could do. The only thing you could do is subtract some exercises out of your routine. So you just have to keep on doing it until everything's back to normal. So I know this was kind of like a short kind of video, and I know I've taken a bit of a break from YouTube, but I really just want to hop back on it pretty much and give you guys informative content. I don't want to give you guys just crappy content. I want to give you guys something that you'll be able to walk away with and be like, oh, okay, like I actually got something out of that video. Yeah, that was useful. Whereas I mean, I could make a vlog, but it's just like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I could make a vlog, but it's not something I would typically do. I mean, I would make a vlog every now and then, day in the life, full day eating, stuff like that. But I just, I would rather give you informative content about fitness, nutrition, stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, drop a like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.